Alright, so we're back in the shop with a big Ford. What it's doing is, what it did, running along, might have been saucing at it a little bit, maybe. Anyway, all of a sudden, lifted off the throttle, the check gauge's light came on, 0 oil pressure. You blip the throttle, oil pressure comes back up. It was running fine at that point. Pulled over, shut it off, just check the oil, make sure it didn't pop a cooler line or something silly like that. It's full of oil, cranked it back up. No oil pressure at idle. Blipped the throttle, had oil pressure. So, parked it. Then upon restart, you try to restart the thing, it'll cranks for probably 15 seconds, stop, let it start to cool down, crank it 15 more seconds and it'll run. Runs fine, but once you get it running. So I'm thinking, I've done a little research, they tell me there's a little check valve inside the engine oil canister there that could be stuck open, causing the oil pressure to bleed off there, or there's a ball bearing on the side of the high pressure oil pump that could be doing the same thing. So I'm going to dig into it and see what we got here. Also, the oil pressure gauge reads fine until the engine warms up, till it gets about to 180 degrees or so. Then it starts, once it's warm, it starts losing oil pressure at idle. So I don't think it's a sending unit, because it's acting funny too. So we'll dig into it and see what's what. Alright, I just checked that little check valve, which is, so you can see it there, right there, that little black guy, black valve. I pushed down on it with an extension right there, and then dumped some oil in it, a little bit, just enough to see if it leaked, and it doesn't leak. So that is not the problem. They say you should only use Motorcraft oil filters in these things, because if you use others that are different length and can cause that little check valve to mess up. But that ain't the case here. Alright, I've wrestled the turbo out of there again. I'm going to keep going. I see the